By lifting. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, be a man by lifting a man. So we want to debunk the myth that a Lone Ranger, you just go carry your scars and your wounds and deal with life and be a hero. Then you die and we bury you, but you'll have died lonely. So the thing is, how can we as men be a support to one another, a positive influence to one another, and also ultimately even a role models to those younger men behind us? So we like to chill and connect because men like chilling in a place, either drinking something or watching a screen, and then connecting at the same time. So we have had events, physical and online ones, and they've been really good. So we thought for this second half of the year, we try and do regular webinars because webinars again are easy to get guys together without having to travel across town, especially now in this rainy season and the traffic. Yeah. So today's theme is one that was coined by some gentlemen here, which was very funny. Do you live with the one you love, or do you love the one you live with? And I like what Michael said. He's still living alone, and we hope, Michael, that loneliness will end, and you will find the one who you can love to live with soon. But again, yeah, just speaking about this thing of the people we live in, our significant others, or even maybe by extension, other people who may not be like spouses category, but people we live with, because even I could live, for example, with my nephew or my brother, or my sister. And I still love them and I live with them. So maybe it's not just to make it look like it has to be spouse, husband, wife, husband. But of course, the natural default is to go there, which is also fine, and then just have that conversation and see how that goes. So it is not something academic. We just want to have a chat, hear a bit more from our two gentlemen here, Mukunya and Wahiga, who are by no means experts. They're also trying to figure this thing called life, as we all are. And it helps when we figure it together. Then that way we can make fewer mistakes. We can recover faster and better from our mistakes. And one thing I like about these sessions is that the things I think I'm carrying myself personally, I realize, kumbe there are four other guys who are having the same issues. In fact, they're even worse than me, so I'm okay. But many times when you're doing it alone, you kind of feel like you're carrying this heavy weight, and then that you will fall off the face of the earth and have no one to lean on. So welcome. Feel free to be in this space, ask your questions, more so even share your insights, because like I said, it's not like anyone is an expert here. And then we see how it goes. And I'm relieved to hand over to Pablo, who is seated over there looking like, Pablo, are you in a matatu stage or like in a place taking a flight or something? And are you able to come in? Pablo, you can unmute. You're still on mute, Pablo. You're muted. Pablo, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't know if this is better than it was before.
Yeah, now we can hear
Better?
you.
Yeah, it's just that I
Yeah.
couldn't move to where I wanted to move, and the time arrived. So I've had to.
It's okay as long as we can hear you and see you. As long as we can hear you and see you. That's fine.
So
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
sitting.
So
I am sitting for
just
the drama effect. I am sitting in the middle.
okay.
It's like I'm in a bus station.
Wow. Okay. Right.
So all your stories are out there. Just know whatever you say.
No, it's fine. It's all right. Yeah. So I was just at the
You can
point
hear me
of
clearly.
yes, we can. I was saying I was just at the point of introducing these two gentlemen, so I can hand
You
that
can
over to
actually do
you,
that
and
because
then.
you can actually do that.
I may be forced to ask them to introduce themselves because I hadn't gone through their bios. I know you had done that, I think. So that's why I was giving it over to you. Yes. Is that okay?
Yes. So okay, I'll do that. So
Thank you.
I'll start with me. My name is Paul Moronga. My friends call me Pablo. Yeah, so now that we are talking, we are friends. That's all it takes to become my friend. A conversation. Yeah, Wahiga can attest to that. I haven't known him for long. But we are in business together. That's how quickly I move. Yeah. I enjoy a good story, telling one, listening to one. And yeah, that's what I do these days. I used to be employed and used to earn a salary. Not so much anymore. I can see my brother. And nowadays, I do this to make a living. I tell guys stories, and hopefully the stories are interesting enough for someone to pay me some money to do it. Yeah. So that's what I do. I create content, I storytell, and I use everything at my disposal to do it. My art, my music, my photography, my writing. Yeah. So I use everything that I can to communicate so I can tell a good story. My background is in communication. I have 20 years of experience in advertising, branding, crisis management, all of that. So anything that needs to be managed from a communication point of view, I know how to do that. I still consult on that level, but it's not my core thing anymore. But it pays bills, so I do it when it comes up. But the thing I really want to do is this. So I'm investing my time to building what I call a storytelling legacy. And that's why we're here, tackling what I call difficult conversations, especially with men. This is a critical conversation, especially with men. Authentic, difficult conversations with men. Yeah, that's me. The chief storyteller. Yeah. And my business, the one I used to do this is called visual dialogue. Yep. Yeah. Mukunya, I asked you guys, give me some homework, I guess. In one word,
Yes, you did.
if tell me, if you could describe Mukunya in one word, what would that word be?
Thanks a lot, Pablo. My name is Mukunya, and for me, the one word would be inquisitive.
Uh-huh. If you could use that one word in a sentence to describe you, what would that sentence be?
Someone who asks the why to understand why people do what they do and behave the way they behave.
Great. Put a pin on that one. I'll come back to you. Wahiga, tell me in one word, who is Wahiga? Or tell us.
A fixer. That's what people say I am. When people look
Come again.
now, a fixer. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Good. So I'm saying a fixer, and so that's what people describe me with. And just to preempt on a question you've asked, if I could put it in a sentence or something. So people look for me because they want to troubleshoot something. They usually look for me when they have trouble. So it's both individually and in an organization. I can't say that per se, but you see, even in the Bible, there was always somebody who was solving problems for someone.
I guess I'll make a God question.
No, but people, even the definition, see the definition in like I don't have any other definition. So even for me, that's what has saved me, Bana.
Okay, that's interesting. Our two panelists, Wahiga is a fixer, Mukunya is a, did I get that right? Wahiga is a fixer. And Mukunya is a?
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor. So you question things.
Is that an English word?
Would it be true to say, of you that you are also a doubter?
No, it's more of inquisitive to understand why people do. So for example, so for example, why has Pablo decided to let loose the silver fox? Is it to do with the current silver fox being the in thing or not?
Interesting.
He could have died. He could have dyed the beard black, as many people do. Now it's the in thing.
So there's a story behind the beard, and you'll hear it. Yeah, so I grew up in a military family. And when I say a military family, not that any of us is in the military, but my father was. Yeah, yeye ni mwanajeshi. And you can imagine me like this in his house. Yes. It doesn't cut. So, but we have agreed that everyone stays in his lane.
So now you see the Inquisition, because everyone has
so
a
in
story.
short, you're saying you're rebelling.
Huh? I'm a rebel.
Umesema ikutoke. Sasa hii ndio time imefika ukasema ikakutoka. Sasa
so I don't shave. For a long time I did exactly. I was clean shaven for a long time. And then one day I got up and I was tired. And so I don't shave. And I don't shave daily. But I like to go to the barber to do it. And my barber fix is once a month. But I don't cut my whole beard off. So either I'll have a goatee or I'll have it like this. Yeah. So it's not dyed. I'm not a dyed in the wool kind of guy. It's the real thing. I'm a true silver fox. So to our conversation of today. Yeah. And I'll come back to intros a bit later when I speak to what it is that you do. I think just to give context to who you are a bit more than our one-liners, but just to understand. So who is Munkunya, the Inquisitor, and what does he do on a day-to-day? We'll get to that. But for now, I want us just to unpack today's conversation from a descriptive point of view. What does it mean to love the one you're with and to live with the one you love? It's a very loaded statement. Are those two statements the same thing, or are they different? Can they be at the same time? Can you love the one you're with and live with the one you love, both at the same time? Is it a possibility, or are they mutually exclusive? Does it have to be a lover-lovey conversation, or can it be a father-son conversation? Can it be the daughter-mother conversation? Can it be a brother like us guys, a bro kind of thing? Or can it be a sisterhood conversation?
But even with
so
that,
the question of love. Yes.
So, repeat the question again, because even
so to repeat and for clarity, so that everyone in the room understands what I'm asking. Do you love the one you're with? Statement number 1. Or do you just live with the one you love?
Okay, wacha nianze na mimi ndio nijitoe kwanza. I need to sleep in the same bed with the person I love.
Remember, you have to go home today.
No, I am home. So
you're at home. Remember, you have to stay there today.
Yes. So at least in the list, I know I love the one. Yes, first I love what it from the apple. Just to answer the first question. And then the rest of the details can come later. But to answer your first question, so far, so good. I still love
so do you love the one you with, for example? Is it a yes first?
Yes,
you love
first,
the one you
yes.
So yes, that's a yes.
Yes. Unajua now, as I've been taught by Mukunya, who has been married longer than I. There are seasons of
authenticity. My theories.
No, but I don't even have a choice. I have to love again. Fortunately or unfortunately, as
no one is holding a gun.
No. So far, to say me so far, I have to love just as the Bible has told me. If I do it 100%, now that's only the receiver who can really tell me, and also maybe in my quiet place I can think through what I'm doing, how I'm saying it, etc. But in the list, just to draw the line, yes, love is what I've been called to, even by God, to the person I am with. And so the rest is now figuring how to do it, because Truth is, I can be here thinking I'm very loving, but hiyo pande ingine bwana hey, wanadhani mimi ni Nairobi River. So but that's just an example. Yeah. So nimetoa hiyo swali kwanza. Yeah.
Thanks, Wahige, for that. And thanks, Pablo, for the question. For me, they're not mutually exclusive and neither do they exist at the same time. It is dependent on each individual and each situation. So the first one for me, do you live with the one you love? It begins you come together with somebody and love grows gradually with time and improves. So if you look at arranged marriages, those who begin with you're brought together either because your parents have seen the two of you are compatible, and as a result of that, you get to learn and to love that person with time. And the second one, do you love the one you live with? The one begins with we love each other, and as a result of our love, we come together in terms of a couple. But if you look at the parent, you first start with love because you love your child and then you live with them. So the context differs depending on the relationship we're going to discuss and how it progresses with time.
Okay. So this conversation about love, and love from and I'll look at this from a male perspective. I'll talk as a not middle-aged, but I'm 50 plus now, so let me just agree I'm old. Let me kubali, nimekubali, mimi ni mubaba. When I'm in a new season. Yeah. So a season where I'm discovering what it is like to find love again. Yeah. So that's a whole other conversation. We're not really going there now, but I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, what does this life look like when you've been in a relationship that's stable and has all the elements that you know, and then you're not there anymore? What happens? Yeah. And I guess then that question begins to also applies and then comes back to me and says, so when I was in a situation where I was when I was in a difficult situation in my own relationship, was there a point that I was going through the motions? Are there seasons? Maybe that's the question I'm asking. Are there seasons in love that then determine whether you are just living with the person you love or you are loving the person you live with? So that emphasis, and maybe just to give clarity to why I'm focusing on, when you're living with the person you love, the living is a primary word. So when you live, you're cohabiting, you're going through the motions of life together, but you know you love them, but love may not necessarily be at the forefront of how you see each other. But you do things together that depict that you live in a relationship that is underpinned by love. There are other seasons then where love is the primary driver of how you see each other and how you live together. So when you love the one you are with, the primary word is love. The live is the secondary word. This is just me putting a perspective out there from a grammar storytelling point of view. Yeah. To open a debate and say, if the primary word of your cohabitation is live, or the primary word of your cohabitation is love, which is it?
Okay. And I may can I assume that we're anchoring this on a relationship with a spouse or a significant love interest or love person? Yeah. Okay. So in that case, my view would be a bit different from how you view it. In love is a process. It's cyclical. It's not that today the love I had is constant and it's a high. It's an up and down. And for me, depending, okay, let me rephrase that. For me, love is cyclical. So there are times in a relationship that you are madly in love with each other, and there are times you are also not as madly in love with each other. And the point that for me that I see is how deliberate are you with regards to your significant other person. And we've all heard of the stories of married couples who have been married for 10, 15, 13 years. 30 years. On Sunday, they will come to church as a happily married couple. But the minute they get home, each member of the couple goes to their specific bedroom, their specific way of life, and they only come back again on Sunday for the show that we are in love. So for me, love in its true sense and form is a cyclical relationship where there are times you are madly in love with the person you're with, and there are times you're living with that person that you're with, but that doesn't mean you don't love them. You still love them. It's just that it's a different type of love because we're all evolving and we are all changing in the relationship.
Wahiga,
But
what say ye?
Where?
You can take the fifth.
No, it's hard to speak after the pastor, for lack of a better way to say it. Hey, if I say it in Swahili, mimi huona swali kaa hili linatupa changamoto ya kutafakari kwa kina maana ya upendo na uhusiano. And it's good he's actually said the seasons. Well, I don't know if it's lucky, but I'm younger in marriage and relationship specifically. So my experience also might be still, maybe about 8 years later, I'm still in honeymoon, you know. But looking at this part of the question, let's say love who you live. For me, this speaks to the love that grows and matures from living life together every day. Which then again is a love built on the foundation of daily choice. You wake up every day deciding, will I love or not love? And I'm also looking at this.
I think we've lost Mutunya for a minute.
I'm still here.
Wahiga.
It's Wahiga.
It's Wahiga
I'm still here.
Okay.
But I think the thing I pick up from him is love is a choice. Do you make that deliberate choice to love a person? And one of the mottos I live by is love 100%. And you give your love 100% completely. Every day,
Even on a bad
it's a
day.
choice. Even on a bad day.
So how is that a practical thing? What practical things do you do to make it a choice that you then do? So when you're not feeling your person, what do you do that's deliberate that allows you to still show love?
Simple things and simple activities. One of the things that we discussed when getting married is when you get funds and when you get resources, what is the thing that you do? You get a bigger bed. With a bigger bed, what happens means that you have space to keep to your side and not touch the other person. By keeping the bed small enough, you have to touch each other. And in that process, you'll be like, why was I mad at this person in the first place? You may decide to keep to your side for a while, but at some point in the night, you will have to touch each other. And then it's also being very clear, what's your language of love? Is it touch? Is it words of affirmation? Is it gifts? Is it acts of service? And being deliberate to say, I am not feeling it, but because I know it's important to her, I will do this because I know it's important for her.
So let's switch gears for a minute. And move from what I would say is spousal love or love that is for a significant other, that is your partner. And maybe let me move this to one where I call it where you have no choice. So a relationship between a parent and a child is interesting in the context of this conversation. Are there times you think watoto wako wamekusinya, or they have wamekufikia hapa, that they are not listening to you, they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and you who knows and can see that they are going down path X that will finish them? How do you still show love to a child who's rebelling from your guidance? And maybe that then becomes a conversation about love for a child, a parent and a child relationship, in the context of what we're talking about now.
In my perspective, it's love for a child would begin with, you first start with love. You love them from the beginning. Actions,
Do you have kids?
the actions. Yes, I do.
You have how many? If you don't mind.
I have a kid.
You have 3.
One.
That's for context. I'm just
yes. Yes. So with that one, it's from a love perspective. So start with love and grow. There are times I talk to her and she looks at me like I have no idea what you're talking about. And it's just having that understanding that since you're the older person in the relationship, again, you need to behave as the older person. It's how do you show that, okay, I want you to do this, but then I also want to give you the space to learn from your experiences, because I will never be there. I'll not be there 100% to teach you. So there are certain things that I also do, and my wife also does the same, is encourage. What are some of the things? So you want to jump from this chair to the other chair? Please jump, but be careful. If you fall, you will also learn, okay, next time I either need to take a bigger step or I move the chairs together. Otherwise, if I keep saying don't, what happens in life? My child will come up and grow up not taking risks. What do you want? You want somebody who takes risks, but calculated risks. The experience I've had, especially from friends of mine who have had strong parents who've been very harsh, is the parents have given them tough love. However, that tough love has been seen as you don't love me, or you resent me, or you're punishing me, which ends up with the child taking a total different tangent. So it's also how do you balance between tough love and that caring love.
So you've spoken to 2 very interesting things. That when you love someone, you need to offer them risk. You need to allow them the latitude to make their own decisions, even though you will have to pay for those decisions. So, for example, if your daughter jumps and falls, it's you who will pay the hospital bill.
Correct.
True? Yes.
True.
But you have to allow her to jump and fall.
Correct.
Because the lesson is not in you stopping her from jumping. It's for her to go through the process of understanding that that jump, while it might be an exhilarating thing and fun, it has a downside. And sometimes some of the lessons that we need to learn in our love lives, let's call it that, is that the pain is part of the process of learning what love is and how to live with people that you love. So love isn't always hunky-dory, nice, polite, easy. For me, actually, if you ask me, love is messy. It's difficult conversations every day that you navigate to get through the day. Yeah, so you can argue over simple things like who's going to pick up the kids. Yes. And maybe it was your turn and you can't now. And so your person, because she knows, so that you don't want to pick those kids today. And because it was not her turn, she had gone to the gym. But now she has to leave the gym to come and do what? And pick those kids. Because we're bad office. Yeah, she's mad at you, and she'll still do it. Yes. So, and maybe in the context even of children, and maybe when we look at this a bit further to a point where I think maybe a lot of us might be is bringing up teens who question and then bringing up adults. So when you have adult children where your word is not their bond, how do you love them? When they can choose not to listen to you and there's nothing you can do.
And I like what Wahiga said. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so how do you love them?
And I like what Wahiga said, and I'd like to anchor this conversation, at least my part, onto what he said. Love is a choice, and it's a daily choice. So every day you must make that choice to love that person or the people around you, irrespective of whether they listen to you, whether they respect you, whether they do what you tell them to do. It's a choice you have to make for yourself. At least that's in my books.
Riga, you're back. Karibu. We had lost you for a minute. Can you hear us?
Asante. Yes. Asante sana. Sorry about that. Unaona venye love that's it was very unexpected. But I'm back. Thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah. So do I continue, or you had changed the question?
And maybe just before you do that, guys who are in the room, if you've got questions, you can either type them in. If you are brave enough, you can mic up, and there'll be an opportunity for you guys to actually speak to this conversation from your perspective. This is not our story only. It's just a conversation we're having about how life is, and what authentic love-like conversations look like in real life. Yeah, what are the difficult things that you endure as you are loving the one you're with, or that as you are living with the one you love? Yeah. So we're talking about children and adult children and or teen children who can talk back and who do not necessarily follow your way. It's no longer your way or the highway. It's no longer your way or the highway. They can refuse. I see it unaweza kuwafukuza really. Okay, you can, but
yeah. No, it's
yeah.
You see, you make the choice not to fukuza them. You also don't make the choice not to fukuza them.
Pablo.
Yeah.
You can hear me well?
Are you still talking,
Yes. I'm asking, can you hear me well still?
Yeah, you are, but you are disappearing.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, but I'm saying also with children, you see, you've also made a choice to love them enough not to fukuza them, right?
Yeah. So I have a friend. So
Lucas. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Lucas likes to tell me that he has adult kids who test him continuously.
Yeah. That testing is as recent as before this call. I think
who tests his love.
Yes, I think for me, I'm choosing to. This might be weird. I'm choosing to love them by hopefully influencing them with how I live my life.
Okay.
What do I mean? There are people I look up to and I want to be like them. In fact, I have a blog that I read every Friday. So my blog for this week is about my mentor, who's exactly 30 years older than me. This guy just lives a life that I want. Like if that would be me in 30 years, I'd be very happy. And he knows it because we are close. But he's influenced me by just him doing him. I'll give an example. I took up nature photography 5 years ago and really invested in it, going for photo safaris at the Mara, in the bush here and there. And a few of those things I've gone with my kids and attended my entire family. And now my daughter is one of the best art students in her school. So now I would have said, you're good at art. You better take it up. I can see. Don't waste this talent. And I'm hounding her to do it. Or I can just go take my pictures, enter a competition or two, win an award, get some publicity. Shortly, it's like, hey, dad, can I borrow your camera? Hey, can I go into your drive and attempt to paint this picture or whatever? So I like that version of it, where
Yeah.
by now, once you cross the bridge from the beating with a stick, it's now how can I leave them? How can I love them by influencing them with how I live? Wherever they're like,
Yes.
hey, but they just seems to be doing him in a way I like. Shortly, they start even wanting to please you without even being aware they are doing it. So it's just something I'm uncovering and learning, and I kind of want to push that envelope and see how far it goes. Yeah.
So it's interesting that you say that. So when my wife and I got married, we made a deliberate decision not to have living help. Yeah. Why? So that we could both be present for the people that we loved. And who are those people that were most significant? Each other and our kids. I mean, I had to be home at 5. I worked in an industry that was crazy. I worked in advertising. Advertising does not know 8 to 5. I drew Yoki too. 8 to 5 in advertising. Unatoka unaenda wapi? That's when the work has started. That's at 5. Yeah. But I also believed it was a culture that was embedded by the people who worked in that industry at the time. Yeah. But I chose not to live like that. So when I started a family and I was in that industry, I made a deliberate decision that I will go home at 5. Because anyway, the day back, house help leaves. So one of us has to be left in the house. Yeah. But we also chose earlier on in our relationship not to have kids immediately. Why? So we could spend time with the people who are most important to us. Who are those two people? Each other. So we needed to figure each other out without the kids. When the kids arrive, hawawezi kutuchenga na kutucheza. And that's not even the reason why we were at home all the time. For me, the reason why we were at home all the time was just to hang out with each other. And love is a habit that you build. Yeah, so you'll never know your person if you're never with them. Yeah, so you actually have to live with the one you love. Do muzoeane. Do you so that you can know their issues, they can know yours. The things that bug you her most, or they bug you most, or bug your kids most, that people learn tolerance and patience. It's a very underrated thing in love that you need to give each other grace. Yeah, you need to give each other space to be whoever you are individually, and then love that person. Love that difficult person. Can you love your person when they're difficult? Can you love your person when they're stubborn? Yeah. Can you love their person when they are hard to live with? How about you only love them when they're nice? When they bought flowers and when they remember your birthday? What about if they don't remember your birthday for 5 years? Will you stop loving? Yeah. Or does it become a bitter pill that you pack? Yeah. So how do we handle love in the context where we choose who is important and how much time we spend with each other? For me, that's a significant conversation about living with the people you love. Being together is as significant as being in love with the person that you are with.
I like that, and it's growing on me now, Pablo, flipping the other thing, loving the one you live with. And I think it was Mukunya who alluded to it at times, how like people are chosen for the people to live with or to love. I have this wonderful Muindi friend of mine. We do this photography with them. And of course, in the Asian community, it's that thing whereby this family knows that family. There's a good boy in that family, a good girl in that family. So there were a classic case of that. So I was very curious and I asked him, please tell me this story. And they've been married for a number of years. They have a family and they are pretty okay. And so, of course, Indians, I think, consult the horoscope or something? It's like where you see this is a line of, I don't know much about the horoscopes, but so it was consulted, and the Jama, my windy friend, he calls it horoscope. It wasn't a horoscope; it was a horoscope. You know, because of because of how it was. But I was so curious to see them. They were in India. They moved to Kenya. They've started a thriving business. Their son is a wonderful, fine young man. Then as they spoke, I kind of couldn't help but think maybe love is overrated. You know that she met this guy when it's your uncle and your auntie have taken you from this state to this other state in India. Meet this boy, he's in this university. And here they are almost 2 decades later, and still doing life together. So I think I'm beginning to like that approach. It's like mental, it's a mental or a heart workout. How you go to the gym. You're a gym guy, Pablo. How you go to the gym, it's a heart workout whereby your heart and your mind, you constantly take them to the gym and tell them, huu ndio tutapenda. And somehow, mapenzi just starts building up pole pole and you do life. So it was such an eye-opener having these two friends and becoming close enough for them to share their story. Before at times, even maybe when there's too much love at the beginning, it almost sabotages the longevity of that relationship. At times, maybe it's better to start with with the headspace of it and a conscious decision, and then love may linger longer. So that's like a theory I'm forming in my head. I don't know what you guys think.
Wow. I think most of us, especially men, have to form a theory to survive wherever we are in, for those who are surviving. And for those who are in happy ones, are also definitely base a theory to also manage the situation they are in. So just what I was saying, going back to the topic of the day, live with who you love draws us together actually at the beginning, where it's based on attraction and deep feelings, and it's a spark that starts the journey, which is okay. There always has to be a spark, Um, but looking back in these few years, because I believe I'm the youngest, I guess, out of all the panelists, and lesser experienced in this thing. I'm feeling for a marriage to last and flourish, we must move to the stage of love who you live with. Actually, since the time you sent this topic, nimekuwa nikiuliza maswali tough questions, just to also understand where I am on that cycle. And the love who you live with, I feel and believe, well, as of today, because that's also a choice, that it's a sustaining engine of a long-term relationship, based on a daily decision to love that person that you said you love. And fortunately or unfortunately, I still base mine from a Christian perspective, which can be its own undoing also, but also can be the most positive thing you can do. So because of the covenant that I made, the family that we built so far, because I have a few kids who are younger, and the life that we share, the thing is about investing in the relationship through, I guess, acts of love, respect, and service. Things I've also failed at personally, but still stick to the path of I have to follow this. So, and in my marriage journey, I've definitely seen it fluctuate quite quite greatly. But loving the one you live with is the steadfast choice that brings stability, security, and true lasting happiness, I assume. And I guess so far, yeah. So it's for me, it's when romantic love meets the covenant, and bears the fruit of a strong family. Yes, those are my humble submissions.
Thank you, Ahiga. Pablo, we're almost at the top of the hour, and there are some good chats there are some comments. Can you see them, or do you want me to read them out?
I can't see them. Can you read them out on your side, Lucas?
Okay, so Ed, hi Ed. Ed is a buddy of mine. Yeah, as long as love is measured by how I feel, then it will never be satisfied or enough, either for those I live with or those I'm related to. Our emotions are the weakest currency with which love should be traded with. Wow, quite a statement. Our emotions, yeah, because they flicker. They flicker like KPLC in a rainy Nairobi, you know? Then Lillian is saying, I think saying that love is a choice is vague. It's an informed choice based on a continuous sum of actions to build or destroy it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Show me
yeah.
by your actions, show it. Don't just say it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Talk is cheap.
Love is
I get.
practical, right?
Yeah,
Means you
yeah,
pay the rent when you say you pay the rent. It's not
yeah.
just, yeah.
Yeah,
Imeshikana
which
mahali.
which
Yeah, yeah.
which have which have definitely failed several
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
So and
yeah.
and 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 it's something then again you have to go back to. I actually agree with what Lillian has said. And yes, it can be actually somewhat considered vague depending on the context and what aspect of love is being referred to.
Mm,
My reasons, and it can be disputed or agreed to. Love itself, again, to my least experience, is multifaceted. Um, it encompasses a range of very many experiences from both sides. You see, it's also not from one side. Experiences from the initial feeling of infatuation, falling in love, to the deep affection, commitment, and actions involved, as Liliana said, in maintaining a long-term relationship or family bond. Then choice can also be interpreted differently. Does it mean the initial choice of a partner or the daily choice to act lovingly, to forgive, to commit, and to invest in the relationship? Because that's also something people need to also relate to, especially on a daily level and daily aspect. When people say love is a choice, they're usually emphasizing the evolution and active and committed aspects of love, particularly in long-term relationships like marriage. However, if someone hears it and only thinks of it, of the passionate, overwhelming feeling of falling in love, or the continuous sustenance of the status quo, which is we are all good every day, we all want each other every day, then it's inaccurate because those initial feelings often feel and fail beyond conscious control. And so it's the reviving of it again. You have to make the choice again. And it's as easy as forgiveness. Forgiving, because you know the person you're with will definitely do something wrong or will fail at something. And so the question is, will you forgive them? That's a choice also. So while the statement is simple and points to a crucial truth about enduring love, it can be perceived as vague because, yes, it often requires further explanation to clarify which aspect of love and what kind of choice is being discussed in this scenario. So the love is a choice for me. It refers to the deliberate decision and effort to
I
love and
hear you.
cherish
I
the
hear you,
person.
Ayiga. I want to interject
Yeah,
for a moment. We have
that's
like 4
okay. That's
minutes
okay.
left. And I want, if there's a burning word of wisdom from the people who are in the room, if there's something that you have learned recently about living with someone you love or loving someone you're with, now is the time. Sema, fungua roho.
I'll go
You
first.
can type it. If they are in the comments there, I'll ask Lucas to check. If anyone types anything, he will read it out. But something that you have learned, whether it is young love, whether it's an old love, whether it's new love, that speaks to this question about living with the one you love or loving with the one you're with. What have you learned from this love journey? Or is it just hot air, wild goose chase?
I think this is my cue.
Yeah, Mukunya, you are saying?
Michael
To
wants
share
to say something.
some story. I will not call it wisdom, but it's a story. I'm 55. I have been married thrice, separated, and recently, as recent as last year in October, I fell in love again. I met this person whom I fell in love with, and we have been going at it really. I think it was a case of love at first sight. Yep, and we have gone on, and the influences are very strong. I think we've carried on. We're 6 months down the line, and recently we decided to go and spend some time together. We've been having dates. It's a long distance relationship. I'm in Kakamega, she's in Nairobi. So when I come down for a weekend, we'll meet. And it's very easy to be nice to each other. over a few hours when you are together. So when this prospect of a holiday together, 6 days, came up, it was very exciting until when the day reached. It became very daunting because I imagine now we're going to the same room with this person 24/7 for 6 days and nights. There's no going away. At some point, I will just be me and she will just be her. We had tough things to discuss and to share. There was a lot of learning. One thing I'll say, there was a lot of learning and unlearning. This story that they talk about in weddings, about how you press the toothpaste, it came up because we are sharing a bathroom. The use of the toilet came up. We're all individuals. The toileting is a very personal thing. It came up. Very interesting thing. And then there was me time. These are people who we live exclusively away from each other. So me, I have my moments when I just want to be alone. I do my things. She's also that person in my corner. But now we have to be together 24/7. Sometimes I cannot accommodate that thing of why do you want to be alone, and we've chosen to come to be together. So that also came up. And then appreciating your partner's passions. I'm also a photographer. She doesn't like pictures. And yet one of my dreams was to take pictures of her, even when we were on holiday. So we went out and I think we took just about 4 pictures in the whole holiday. The rest of the time I enjoyed taking pictures of the scenery, wherever we were. And when we came back, then she asked me, share the pictures with me. I told her, I don't have any pictures. I thought you didn't like pictures. So it's a very interesting thing. It's an egg and a chicken story. Which comes first? In my case, love has come first. Yeah, love has come first. Because we want to get married, we are thinking, how will it work if we live together? You have said in arranged marriages, a situation where then you have to find love or make love. Grow that situation. So it's very interesting. Love is fleeting. Love needs a spark. Living doesn't need a spark. Love needs a spark. The spark sometimes goes. And it's not there. Now, there's nothing to ignite. So what I say for us, I think one of the things we've learned is we have to be very intentional about the things we do to keep the love alive. What do we do to keep the love alive intentionally every day? We are very far from each other. But we're both early birds. We wake up early every morning at 4 a.m. and we pray together and we have some conversations. I've also discovered that in the morning is a very good time to talk because you get the best of each other when you're fresh. Sometimes in the evening, you're sharing that space with fatigue and many other things that have weighed on you in the course of the day. So I used to insist sometimes we talk in the evening. Then she's not in that space. Or some days I'm just tired too. I also feel the same. So in the morning, it works much. We are both at our best. We are fresh, and that works for us. Then we need to learn each other, and somebody will drive this thing more than the other. I read somewhere today that love is not a 50-50 thing. Sometimes you give 80, she's giving 20, sometimes you're at 10, sometimes you're at nil. She's giving all, or you're giving all, and she's giving none. But you have to make a choice to hang. That is one of the things I've discovered, especially after my many hits and misses in this scene of marriage. And I still want companionship. That's why at 55, I am still falling in love today. That's my wisdom, guys. If you can pick something from there,
well done. Well done.
Run. Thank you.
Well done, Michael Murunga, our soon-to-be four-star general. Yeah, well done. Yeah. Thank you very much. Another comment here from Wycliffe. Thanking, of course, everybody for sharing their real-life examples of love. I agree with the idea that's an informed choice, and the tenets that inform that decision include faith, patience, compassion, kindness, and desire. And those ones now you take like a daily choice to make. Yeah, yeah. All right. Pablo, I'm thinking we can take last comments from our panelists, unless there is someone who has a burning contribution so that we can honor everybody's time. If that's okay, Pablo. And of course, the praying together is quite good. Pablo, you are muted. Pablo, you are muted. Okay. Guess Pablo can't hear us.
Can you hear me now?
Am I the one who's not being heard?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Pablo. And I can
Yeah, I
also
don't know
hear
if you
you,
heard what I
Lucas.
was saying.
Yeah, I heard. So maybe
Yeah, thanks, Mukunya.
we'll do a parting shot. We'll go down with a parting shot and then I'll close. So you have 20 seconds, 30 seconds each.
Okay, my reflection, love is a choice, and it's a choice you exercise every day. And as such, and I like what somebody said, it's something that you give 100%, but then for our relationship to be successful, especially if it's a spousal relationship, both of you must be interested in making it work. Otherwise, if one person is interested in making it work and the other person is not, then that is something that is doomed to fail. It takes two to tango.
Aya,
Bwana Wahiga.
Mahiga, ama amepotea. Lucas,
Okay, I think
maybe you
for
can
me,
go.
if I may just say, yeah, I think for me, what I've come to discover is even before I love the one I live with or live with the one I love, I need to love myself enough to live with myself. Yeah. Before
True.
before I even go to anybody else, whether spouse, child, colleague, friend, employee, employer, whatever sort of yeah. So for me, that has been something that I've really tried to work on the last couple of years. Probably I've actually the last 10 years for most of my 40s. Yeah. To be able to live with myself and to love myself in a way that I can live with myself, then when that is healthy, then I'll be healthy to sambaza that living and loving with everybody around me. That's what I would call, that's what I would say as my parting shot. Yeah. So let's love ourselves enough to live with ourselves. Because some of us are looking for that love and we can't live with ourselves.
Great point. You make a great point. Is Wahiga back or Wahiga
Yes, I
parting
am.
shot?
Can you hear me well? You can hear me? Okay, I'll just say what
Yes.
Mukunya has said. It takes two to tango.
Right. There were some questions from Victor Van, but Mukunya, good job for answering them. They're in the chat for anybody who wants to see. I don't need to go through all of them. I think this was recorded, so it will be shared for those of us who had registered and are not here, and then for those who are on the call and didn't speak. So Pablo, you can land it.
All right, guys. The first Chill and Connect webinar, we plan to have them, I think, once every month. I think, yeah, as we figure out the Chill and Connect journey. We have a number of assets that we are building. We have a podcast that goes out once every 2 months. It will grow, but the demands on our time are crazy at the moment. So to get us all in a room sometimes is a hard thing. But to that, we have webinars, I think, which is now a new thing we've added. And then, of course, we have our live events, which then bring us into a social space where we can connect and have these conversations face to face and get to meet each other and just hang out. Sometimes that can also be therapeutic in and of itself. Tuonane tukule pamoja, we then let's speak some truth to each other. So in closing, I'd like to say thank you for honoring our time. Thank you for logging in, registering, and just listening to what we have to say. Sisi si wahenga vile, lakini kuna kitu tumeona kwa hii maisha tu, that we have lived. And some of that stuff, we think there's value in sharing. Yeah, in sharing with each other.
Yeah, Pablo,
so thank you all for joining.
Pablo, just one thing. I was going to just say that it's good to mention the podcast we're having on the 30th of May, end of this month.
Yeah.
And just to look out for the communication, the podcast for end of this month, 30th of May.
Yeah. 30th of May, our podcast comes back. So that's our next event in line. So we hope you guys will tune in, or you'll find a link on our socials and yours. Asanteni sana. Just a parting shot from me. For me, love is a verb. It's a thing you do. Yeah, so it's an action you take that reminds you, it's a deliberate action that you take that reminds you, whether you live with the one you love or you love the one you live, that is proof of contact, or it's proof of concept. Yeah, so this love thing, is to make it come home, it's something that you must do. It births an action that shows that you are true to the love you preach. And for me, it's not really who you love, whether you live with the one you love or you love the one you're with. It's not really the point. How do you manifest what love is in the situation that you find yourself in? No one has the blueprint or the manual or the mwakenya of how this thing works. Everyone is muddling. So danganya, someone knows. Yeah. Everyone is trying to figure this stuff out. And so whatever you are, whatever you're doing, sikufe moyo, do you. Love you first, be comfortable with you, and then you can begin to pour out. Asanteni sana, you guys. See you on the 30th for the podcast. This is Pablo, and we're out.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye, guys.
Wahiga and Mo specifically for being our good panel and for sharing your wisdom. Asanteni sana. Have a good evening the rest of the week, guys. God bless.
God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.